This is crazy. It's been so long, man. This is crazy. I haven't worked on one of these cars in years. Now I remember when I didn't do it for so freaking long. All right, today we're working on this hunk of junk. And I mean junk. See, the bad thing is I let the battery die, and I mean like die. I've never had a car this dead. I almost was worried that I fried electronics when I jump started it. It was not happy. I'm gonna get the trickle charger on this, and then we have some maintenance to do under the hood. It's leaking oil pretty bad, and I got a headlight that doesn't work. We got to replace that, and I got to finish putting together the back end. I did rear shocks on this, and I never finished that job, and I got to put my trunk back together. So we got a few things to do. We got to button up the maintenance on this so we can work on race car stuff. Why is my race car sitting untouched? And my frame off restoration, also untouched. The doom of maintenance. I gotta find something to prop this up. I think some electrical conduit will do the job. Now trickle charger. Let's pop this trunk open. Okay. And we have the remains of my last project. Like I said, I tore the whole trunk apart to change the rear shocks. I also did rear brakes while I was there, and I actually have a ton of parts. I don't even remember everything. I've got a pile of parts right here in the passenger footwell. Headlights, front brakes, I believe, headlight brackets and wipers, and I don't even know. I really left this project undone, which is a problem. I gotta hurry up and get this thing on a charger because it's getting hotter. I'm sitting here running, but I can't turn the car off because nothing will work. Couldn't even get into my trunk. All right, so always connect black to red and red to black. Kidding. You can do it. You'll learn the hard way though. I wouldn't recommend it. I'm sure this is gonna say bad battery, but maybe we'll get lucky. Okay, everything's unlocked, open, and trickle charger is on. Say my battery's at 100%. Something's not right there. Probably just confused because the car was running. Yeah, okay, battery's down to 10%. That sounds even much higher than I was originally expecting. Okay, no, come in closer. Why are you so far away? All right, so this oil filter housing is soaked in oil. We've got to change that. I've got the parts to do that, the gaskets. Belt honestly looks pretty good. Here, let's get you a closer look. So we can see we are absolutely saturated in oil. So we have got to get that replaced. And I have a headlight that we're gonna change. I don't even remember what side. It is in fact the left side. So we got a left headlight to change. We got repair tabs because this one is broken and replaced. I got bulbs and modules to fix all of that. We're gonna do an oil change and maybe a coolant flange while we're in there. The Mickey Mouse flange that always breaks. I got replacement stuff for all of that and a ground strap because these ground straps go bad. This one's starting to go bad. They get super corroded, and honestly, when the cars sit with no battery charge, they get corroded, ground straps are failing, the rust starts to get bad. So we're gonna have to get all of that fixed. You can see we got quite a bit of oil down here on the charge pipe too, so that's probably valve cover gas. No valve covers on the other side. I gotta figure out why there's oil everywhere. This is looking a bit worse than I was hoping, but either way, we're gonna get this torn apart. We're gonna get this air box out of the way. We're gonna get the oil filter housing off. We're gonna change the Mickey Mouse gasket. That is right here. That is this flange. This infamous flange always breaks. So we got a replacement for that. And oh, I also have a washer tank because my washer tank leaks. If I was a washer tank, where would I be? I spent hours and hours organizing my garage so this doesn't happen. I don't know. I have a windshield washer tank somewhere in here, so we're gonna take the fender off to do that. And that is the passenger side fender, I believe. Yeah, so we're gonna change the passenger side fender as well. All right, so I just rolled my tool cart out here. Let's get to it. All right, right out of the gate, all hardware is going into this bin. All clips. This is how I stay organized. Otherwise, I lose everything. This really helps me stay organized. So we're using this. And they're little buckets. They're not like little dividers, so the stuff doesn't mix up. And they're actually little buckets, so they stay organized. They don't get mixed up. I had to grab my Torx out. Okay, air box is out, just like that. So simple. Now we opened it up, let's take a look. All right, so let's take a look at what our mess is. Not sure where this oil is coming from exactly yet, but it is crazy. All right, so to get this out, we're gonna have to remove that bolt, disconnect those. Ooh, that's a pain in the butt to get to. I don't know what that is. Is that a mounting bolt? I don't think we need to remove that one, but that one is in the way. So the intake is in the way to do this job? I really gotta pull the intake? I don't think that's right. I better take a moment here. All right, I decided I'm just gonna keep disassembling. I gotta get the bumper off anyways and the fender off to really even complete this job. So we're just gonna continue with the disassembly while I think about how the heck I'm gonna reach that bolt. Now, if I remember correctly, I think there's a couple bolts up in here, so we'll have to reach in there to get those. This plastic shield is pretty much non-existent, so not a lot of hardware holding that in. Got a few more bolts for this. Oh, I think we also have to peel back the rocker molding. There are 2 bolts for the fender under there. All right, so we just gotta get these push rivets out. There's one of them. And another one. I think there may be one clip on the inside. Let's take a look. Do I really have to remove all of this? So there is one push rivet under there. We'll grab that one too. Now we should be able to pull that far enough back where we can get the bolts out. Let's take a look. I think we can get a socket with a swivel on there. So let's do that. All right, so we're gonna go in there, 10 millimeter shallow. Let's see if we can get it to fit. That's one bolt out. Let's see if we can get the next one. And we got the other one out. Okay, I don't fully remember, because I know there's adjustment in this bracket. Is it this underneath one? This is crazy. It's been so long, man. This is crazy. I haven't worked on one of these cars in years. Maybe it's the one that goes up and down and I just unscrewed the wrong thing. Now I just lost all my calibration on my adjustment of my fitment. Yeah, it's the vertical ones. And there's another one. We're gonna go in blind on this one. I took the wrong bolts out. Needless to say, we pretty much got there on our own. Now I think there's like, we gotta try to get a really long one in there. Can't even see in there. Where's my flashlight? There is for sure one lower bolt in there. Gonna need an extension. So it finally hit me. I have a lift right there. That's literally a car on a lift. And here I am on my hands and knees. Why am I doing this to myself? All right, so there's a bolt way back in there. It looks like we also will need a universal for. Wow, this is crazy. They really make these things a pain in the butt to get off. Now I remember why I didn't do it for so freaking long. Okay, there's one more up higher. Is that right? Oh, let's check it from this side. There really is a fender bolt in there. How does anyone get to that? With the washer tank in the way. I guess if I remove the wheel and the fender liner, probably would help. Everything always turns into a bigger project than you're originally hoping. But I was gonna do front brakes on this anyways. So maybe it's time to take the wheel off. Let's do that. Okay, so that was easy. Just like that, wheel is off. And I actually went and got a separate hardware container here for my fender hardware and everything I'm doing on this area, so it doesn't get blended with the front end. Help myself stay organized. Okay, so we can see the damage in here now if you'd like. We got a big hole there, and that's about it. We gotta get this liner removed, so it's a bunch of 8 and 10 mils, and we will start making our way in. And I also wanted to do these front brakes, although this side doesn't really look so bad, so maybe we won't. Not sure, undecided on that one yet. All right, let's get this liner removed. So these plastic nuts are 10 mils. They always get stuck in the sockets. I think that's it, only 2 of them. And tiny and 8 mil. Should have been smarter and put this on my lift. Why didn't I do that? You know, I was just eager beaver to get out here and work on it, you know? Regret that instantly. That didn't sound too good. Let's see what we got underneath. Of course. One of those 10 millimeter mamma jammas. I had a feeling there was gonna be more, and there was. All right, fender liner is out of the way. The washer tank's held in by a 10 millimeter. Got that out. I guess we can undo the clip up there. So this just held in by a little clip right there. Slides right out. There's another little clip there, but we might be able to actually disconnect this at the tank. So we can't. So there's that. It's unconnected. There's our harness. That comes off. Okay. So the fender didn't need to come off at all. That was good practice. I just gotta find a way to get this hunk of junk out of here. How did I even get it so stuck? Oh, there we go. Oh man, I can't believe I unbolted my whole fender for literally nothing. That is crazy. Absolutely crazy. Wow. All right, I don't know why this piece of junk leaks, but it has leaked for eternity. I gotta go find my new replacement. Maybe I can even reuse that. Maybe it was leaking out of there. I don't know. I can't believe it. I can. That's right up my alley. I would literally remove the entire fender and not have to on my hands and knees in the driveway like a real man. All right, I gotta find this part. Give me a second, please. I found it. This one's out of an M3. It's gotta be good for some horsepower, some hearse purge. All right, let's compare. Oh, it's a lot smaller. That's pretty nice. It should fit nicely, right? Well, the reason is because I got these M3 style fenders, but they're just regular 3 Series fenders. So this has a level switch in it, which is good because mine is toast, beyond toast. I don't think that was, looks like this thing was caught on fire. Yeah, there's a whole situation there. We're gonna throw that one in the garbage. We're definitely gonna use what's in here and washer pump. I actually have a washer pump somewhere. Okay, so I actually remember correctly. I did have a brand new pump. So we're gonna put this one in, even though I already kind of snapped this one in place. So these look about the same. Connector's the same. Okay, it's in there. I wish I remembered what that plugged into. Maybe headlight washers if I had them. How in the world would I know which connector's which? Level sensor, and I'm gonna have to do a Google search on that one. Why is there 2 plugs? Doesn't make sense to me. Wow, okay, I wrestled with that way too much. Way more than I ever should have. But the good news is we got it in there. Just gotta get this last bolt in, and we're gonna have to test fill it. Okay, we're gonna test fill it before I button this all the way back up closed, because if it's leaking again, I don't wanna have to take my fender off or any of this. When I found my washer tank, I also remembered that I had bought a tank vent valve, which goes right here. So we're gonna replace this bad boy because I have a check engine light and the gas tank kind of locks up when I'm filling it, and it doesn't allow anybody to put gas in it. It just keeps shutting the gas pump off. It's really annoying. So we're gonna take electrical connector off and try to wiggle off these very delicate plastic hoses. Make sure that this looks right. Yeah, I think it does. Oh, that other piece goes way under the intake. That doesn't look too fun. Try to be as gentle with it as possible because it's plastic. It's very old and brittle. All right, we got that one off. Okay, there's definitely an oil leak in there. Not sure what's causing it. Hopefully the oil kept this thing really lubricated so we can get it out, no problem. This throttle body is really in the way. Oh, it literally goes to the bottom of the throttle body. I'm gonna really regret this, but I might take the charge pipe off. That actually slid off way easier than it should have. Ooh, didn't sound great. It might be fine, actually. Okay, so that actually gave me a lot more room. I'm gonna have to take the charge pipe out. It'll be a lot easier. Uh-oh, went a little too far. Might be easier to just take the throttle out as well. Okay, one throttle bolt out, two throttle bolts out, three throttle bolts. All right, so it turns out the easiest way was in fact to just remove the throttle body, and then there, would you look at that. Now, why is this thing soaked in oil? I have no idea. I found my oil leak. It's just literally coming from my intake, which is probably not a good sign. Okay, let's put the new one of these on. Snapped in, easy. There's a nice alignment pin on there. Just kind of wipe the surface off. Just kind of wiggle that one on there. I'm just gonna start these bolts by hand because they do just go into plastic or composite or thermoplastic intake, whatever you want to call it. Okay, here's the next exciting part. We gotta drain some coolant. All right, so just to recap, we changed out the tank vent valve, connects to the bottom of the throttle body. I just pulled the charge pipe, pulled the throttle body. It's 4 bolts, 2 here and 2 underneath. So yeah, there's 4 bolts under the throttle body, 2 up here, 2 underneath, same position. They go into the intake, so be careful, they're coarse thread. And then this just 90s and connects to the bottom of the throttle body. Really was easier taking it out and the charge pipe out. It was super simple. Got that swap. Don't forget to plug your, is that your map sensor in there or your boost sensor? I have no idea what it is, but plug that sensor back in. And yeah, now we're gonna move over here. I gotta drain the coolant out of this. It's a little bit warm, but it shouldn't be too hot. It wasn't running that long. Also gotta try to get this out. So I gotta see, is there really a bolt under there or not? There's 1, 2, believe it or not, there's an empty bolt hole. There's no bolt in it, but there is a bolt literally right under that rubber. Let's see if you can see it. So literally, no easy way to see it, but right there where my finger's pointing, there's a bolt, which is crazy. Only way is the intake has to come. Let me Google search that. I still don't want to believe that. All right, so I did review and confirm we have to loosen the intake. So I just put it back together. Charge pipe's coming back off, and I gotta pull the entire microfilter housing, which is the biggest pain in the butt to get to the intake bolts that are way underneath the engine. Ah, what a bummer. All right, let's get to it. All right, so we gotta remove all of this. It's been a long time since I've done this, but let's get into it. I think these gotta come off on both sides. Take that one off. So we've got all of these little screws here. These gotta come off. Everything's gotta come off here. And just got little release tabs there. I guess the good news is I can get this all vacuumed up and cleaned out. Let's get to it. And of course, I've gotta take this back out. That's fun. Gonna need an 8mm and our dedicated hardware bin. Can I reach? Oh, barely. Ooh, that filter has seen some better days. I probably gotta order one. All right, we got one last bolt on this side. And that goes there. Okay, that is removed. I might just order cowl filters. They sell little filters that just go right in here and you get rid of this ginormous thing. It's such a hunk of junk. Oh, I forgot that sensor. Okay, out with the old, most likely in with the new. I'll probably order cowl filters tonight. Get rid of this ginormous thing. This is my commitment to ordering a new one if it breaks. It didn't break, but I'm still ordering a new one. Okay, what do we have next under here? This crap is all gotta come out. It's like a heat shield or something. Okay, after we remove that top engine cover and then the secondary cover, we now have access to our intake bolts all the way across. So we're gonna get this loosened so we can get the oil filter housing out of here. We gotta drain the coolant, and that's gonna make a ginormous mess. Not excited about it, but no other choice. Okay, so those are 11mm, which is kind of crazy. Okay. Okay, so intake is pulled and we can now officially access that bolt under there. So we'll be able to get into it. Yeah, we're gonna have to drain some fluids. That's never fun at all. Okay, so before we make a huge mess, we can pour our washer fluid in and test to see if that's leaking. Hopefully we get a small victory because we could use it. This project is it's a project and a half. You know, it's one of those things that just got so much larger project than I originally was anticipating, but we're getting through it. And looks surprisingly dry. Okay, that is a full bottle in. We will check on that later. It looks dry so far. That might be our first victory of the day, other than the fact I still have to put the fender back on. Oh wow, what can you do? All right, let's get this oil filter cap off. So you get your special socket. Okay, I gotta get my E-Torx. Okay, so this will be interesting actually, because I don't have any E-Torx ratchets. Yeah, and it seems like you pretty much need one. We're gonna see. We're gonna see what we can do. All right, so we just gotta pop this coolant hose off. And yeah, it's leaking everywhere. Kind of knew that was gonna happen. Had to get this bungeed up out of the way so it doesn't leak even more. Okay, so the good news is you don't need an E-Torx ratchet wrench to get to this front bolt. An 8mm ratchet wrench will work. Let's just hope we have enough. It broke loose, we're good. And we'll do this millimeter at a time, but it's coming. Looks like we can go by hand maybe. Yep, it's loose enough to do it by hand. I'm pretty sure these bolts are one-time use, but we're gonna be using them again. We got it. And it just wiggles right off, look at that. And there's our gasket that's leaking. Okay, so there's the housing. We're gonna clean up that surface and our gasket is right there. It's a little bit brittle. We'll get that dug out. Let's go find our new one. I really hope I have it. That would be pretty unfortunate. Oh, sounds like it came with bolts. Let's take a look. Came with bolts and a cooler gasket. We don't have a cooler, so we won't be using that. These are nice and soft rubber, so that's really good. And we will use the bolts. So I was right about the one-time use thing. All right, I just gotta get some brake clean and some paper towels. Now, while we're here, in theory, I'm supposed to do this Mickey Mouse flange. Let me go grab that. So the gasket and bolt set was actually just an Amazon special. The Mickey Mouse flange is actually a Dorman replacement part, 926 905 coolant flange. Let's see what's inside of here. I think it's a metal one instead of plastic. So there it is, and it comes with a hose clamp. So the other one, we gotta somehow take it apart, put this in there, hose clamp it, and screw it together. So that is this flange right here. So there's one bolt, and the other bolt is in there, maybe like that. No, right there, 2 bolts actually. So 1 bolt there, 1 bolt there. So there's our flange, goes in like that, and we gotta get that off. Gotta get that band cut. I don't think there's a lot of slack in the hose, so we're gonna have to be careful with that. But let's unbolt that next. So these are 10mm ratchet wrench, fits in there perfect. I'm just gonna put the bolts in the bag here so I don't lose them. There's that one. Now these go bad because they're plastic and a lot of heat cycle, and they eventually just let go. And since our oil filter housing already was letting go, I figured, and I'm gonna be in this area, I might as well do this upgrade. So, okay. Just try to wiggle it off. And sure enough, it's garbage. Look at that. There's our seal. It's completely broken off. This pipe is cracked. Look at it. It was literally falling apart. So that is actually amazing that we are doing this. Wow. That could have been a way bigger problem. Let's see if we can pull it up there. So we can see this thing is destroyed. That could have easily let go while we were out on the road. So it seems like maybe there's a little bit of play. Let me see. I'm going to try to get this off first without ruining it. That would be ideal. All right, we're just gonna risk it for the biscuit. I'm just gonna cut it. Just gonna cut it right up on the flange. All right, so we got that piece cut off. Now we just have to put the flange in. But first, I'm going to clean it all up. All right, so I'm gonna clean the oil filter housing surface first because it's pretty bad. And we want that gasket to seal really well. Okay, that looks good. Now we have to take this seal out. So it's pretty baked in there. That one's pretty brittle. The new one's a lot more pliable. And we're just gonna lubricate that surface so it doesn't tear when we're putting it on. It seals nice. Make sure it's pushed in there. And this surface over here is clean. So we're gonna get ready, slide this back on. Oh, actually, I'm getting ahead of myself. We need to finish this. So we're gonna put a little lubricant on that seal in there. And I actually wanna clean inside of there with a rag and some brake clean. Just make sure that we're getting a nice seal in there again. There's definitely some crap in there. Actually got a little Scotch-Brite pad. We're just gonna try to clean the edge of that. Okay, now let's get this installed. So we're just going to grab our hose clamp. And I think the easiest orientation might be like this because we gotta get a ratchet or a wrench onto these ears. So we're gonna want this to be in the easiest position. Gotta see what size that is. Looks like an 8mm. and it is. So we can get started on this, but not tighten it down in case we have to change the orientation a little bit once we get it in place. And I'm gonna lubricate that a little bit. Okay, so this O-ring has an incredible amount of play. I might actually try the old one. So the old one, let's see if it fits a little better. That seems to have just as much play, so maybe a little bit more. Interesting. All right, I'm gonna wrestle it a little bit more. Okay, so this is quite a problem. Let's see if we can see it. So in there you can see the O-ring's getting pinched and it doesn't fit. It's too big. The factory O-ring also has that much play in it because it's old. So I'm probably gonna have to order a new one. Try eBay or Amazon. Amazon probably. That is a bummer because I was hoping to button this up today. That's all right. We're gonna get the oil filter housing back in. We're gonna get the intake. We're gonna get everything buttoned up and then we'll just throw that in tomorrow, I guess. I still gotta get this headlight off. Check my washer tank and it's dry. So that's a big success. Happy about that. All right, let's just keep moving forward. We can't stop. Okay, next will be, let's get this put back on. So the worst part is no alignment pin. So that's crazy. Oh, I forgot to hit the surface with the Scotch-Brite. I think that's good. Okay, where are my bolts? See my old bolts. See my Mickey Mouse bolts, which I'll put back in this bag. I know we had bolts somewhere for that. Losing everything, I guess. Oh, here they are. Okay, found our bolts. While I've got it out, I'm just gonna also clean this flange. It's a little crusty. That's a lot better. Okay, now we will use our bolts that I just soaked in oil on accident to locate everything. So with the Mickey Mouse flange out of the way, it's actually a lot easier. Okay, that's tight. I have an oil filter. I'm gonna do an oil change. I think I did an oil change. I don't even remember. This is the wrong type of filter. Maybe it'll work. Okay, that was a party and a half, but the new gasket is in, new filter is in, this hose is connected. We just gotta wait on the Mickey Mouse flange. Just kind of a pain in the butt. I want to get that a little bit more cleaned up while we have access to it. Plug our electrical connectors back in. That one goes there. This one goes there. We'll wait on that, I guess. We got to put our intake back on, so let's do that. All right, so we just got to wiggle this back into place. Sounds easy, right? Right. Okay, I knocked the camera over, but it pops right back in, so it was just camera shy. All right, so we've got to tighten that back down. These were 11 mils, which is kind of crazy. And I dropped one. Son of a biscuit. We got it. Successes are far and few between here, but we did have another one, so I'll take it. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, that one was a bit more successful. Okay, intake is bolted down. Now let's put our charge pipe back in. I think we are done over here for now. I know last time I said that I had to take it back out. I hope I don't jinx myself. I'm going above and beyond on this install here. We'll clean it up. Okay, charge pipe is now installed. Sensors are plugged back in. I guess airbox can go back in. Okay, intake box is back on. Wow, that was a ton of work. I still gotta get this front bumper off. Do this headlight. Probably gonna be a day 2 project. I might just clean up a little bit here and see you guys tomorrow. Well, maybe in a couple days. Depends on when the parts get here. I gotta get a new O-ring. I gotta get this bumper cover pulled off. Maybe, we'll see. I gotta do some cleaning up. Okay, so really quickly, I jumped to a new project. My pigtail for my fog lights was ripped off. I actually had wired like spade connectors in before. I'm replacing them with just Amazon LED bulbs, LED fog lights. Probably gonna get a bulb warning, but they're gonna be pretty bright. So I got this butt connector on here. Gotta heat shrink it. Now we'll let that cool down for a second and we'll crimp it on there. Okay, these have cooled down. Now I gotta try to fit all of this in a very tight spot. I gotta get crimpers that work in a little tighter space. Okay, that's fit, that's good. All right, so it's easier if I put the butt connector in the crimpers first. Okay, so it has successfully connected. Now we'll just heat shrink them. Okay, we'll let those cool off. Then we gotta try to shove this in there.